Action!
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Church's Hollywood Moments with me, Thomas G. Churchill, aka Church, bringing you something cool today. So, we had a friend that came to the lot to do a little behind-the-scenes shoot. Scott on Tape. Check him out on YouTube and Instagram. He came out here, and Pete from the Totally 80s Room. And they wanted to do something cool and kind of know a little bit about the history of the studio. So I gave him a tour, and Alex, my producing partner, actually caught the behind the scenes from it. So here it is. Check it out.
My good friend Thomas right here. There you go. Here, perfect. Stand up here.
Hello!
There we are. This is Thomas, film director, producer, writer.
Yes, director.
Director. You have an office here on the lot.
I do.
You know a lot about what was shot here, what's been done here. This is exclusive.
Exclusive.
Nobody's allowed on this lot to just walk around.
Scott on Tape here.
And I thank you for that. You reach out to me, so thanks, man. This is awesome. He's been telling us the history with me. Pete from the Totally 80s Room. Alex, his producing partner, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thomas, let's go. You're the star. I want to know what the hell this place is all about. This is awesome. 1 second, don't speak. I'm going to turn the camera on you. You ready for your close-up?
Sure.
All right. So give me a brief little history of this place.
So this place was actually built in 1918 from Charlie Chaplin's art department. Charlie Chaplin's art department wanted to jump into the film business and build these stages, because all these stages were getting erected all around Hollywood. And Charlie gave him some money and he built the stage. So during the course of I would say this place is probably one of, or the oldest sound stages in Hollywood. And everything you can think of started here. From the first talkies was over here. I'll show that to you guys in a little bit. It's like stage 1 and 2, which is also famous for 2 other things, and I'll bring that up to you when we get over there. But a lot of movies were here, a lot of movies, television shows. From recently had When Harry Met Sally and Throw Mama from the Train and The Player, Shampoo. But there's a lot of things that happened recently that I can't mention to you guys yet because it's not out.
A lot of Netflix shows are filming here right now.
Lots of Netflix stuff, lots of Francis Ford Coppola then owned the studio in the late 70s, from 78, 79 to 85, where he's done tons of this stuff. Some of the Outsiders, the big casting thing about Outsiders, where you hear about all the young actors, who's who from being 12 years old, actors from 12 to 25, all came on the set, all came on this location to audition for Francis. Part of the Outsiders was shot here. Rumblefish was shot here. Some of his, I believe it was Black Stallion Returns, parts of Apocalypse Now. But the movie that kind of made it for him when he bought the studio was One from the Heart, which kind of hurt him as well, and that's when he lost the studio. There's a big stage over here that he actually remade Fremont Street on it from Las Vegas. Was pretty cool. Television, going back to I Love Lucy, the first 2 seasons was shot here. Mr. Ed, Petticoat Junction, Addams Family, Green Acres, You're So Raven, Fresh Prince, all that, Soul Train, Star Search, Jeopardy, all that stuff all came from here, whether they stayed here for a few years and then left afterwards and went on to other stages.
you would say Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah. So
It's right here.
yeah. So if you see the movie The Player, this is the opening shot of the film, where they kind of start off here and then they swing around, and we end up in Tim Robbins' office. That's right. Which was right here, building 2. So this is at Tim Robbins' office. And then back there, stage 3 was Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I believe The Pink Ladies was also written out of there. Animal Control is one of the newest shows out. That's this building. Stage 7, Stage 5, and Stage 4 all house the same universe for Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, and Mr. Ed.
And Burns and Allen.
And Burns and Allen, which was Stage 2. George Burns, which was great that you just brought that up. George Burns came here in the 50s, and he never left until he retired. And one of these buildings was his bungalow. I don't know which one yet, but when he left, he left.
And this was
CD was Mae West's bungalow, and then next to that, the Marx Brothers, they had their stuff in there. Laurel and Hardy was here as well. It's pretty surreal when you find out everything that was shot here, or iconic films, or iconic promotions and television shows, what came from this studio. And when we were looking, when Alex and I were looking for office space and studio space, and this fell on our lap, I was like, wow, this is just, even La La Land, that's one of the last movies that was shot here. Margot Robbie was just here with Colin Farrell shooting the movie. Which is pretty cool. Brad Pitt was just here last week. Netflix is here doing their thing. But come on, I'll show you some of the old posters too. We're gonna go cut down this little street.
all right. Great. That's awesome. I have a question for you. I'm gonna have to.
Is Ricky Nelson's sons were in the Nelson place.
Yeah. After the Rain, wasn't that their big song?
That's right.
Two. There's another one.
The cool thing
another big hit.
about the Addams Family, not only was the TV show shot here, the movies were shot here as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I always thought was fascinating.
Now, just by people speaking or listening to you, I mean, obviously you're not a native of California. You have the New York accent still, right?
Something I can't get rid of.
No.
But I like it. It gives me character.
So you've directed 15 films, right? You said 15?
A little more than that, but 15 in the last 10, 12 years.
Incredible. But what made you but you know so much of the history of Hollywood and movies and this particular studio. Did you know about the history of this place before you got the offices here?
No. What the crazy thing was, I was a kid from New York that was always wanted to be an actor, and when I fell in love with the acting and I learned a lot of stuff about Hollywood, and you learn things as you're old. I made my first movie at 17, but when I moved out here, I had various office spaces in different areas, but it was last year. I'm a PGA member, the Producers Guild, and we were at a Christmas party, and they had the Christmas party here. And it was around the same time that Alex and I were looking for our home for Churchill Productions. And I was looking and figuring out, and when we came out of the stage, we're going to go into that stage, by the way. When we came out of that stage, the studio itself had like a table, like for all the producers to grab like a swag bag and say, hey, come shoot your movies here. So I said, oh, you guys have any office space and stages and all? And they said, come down for a meeting, and next thing I know, we're on the lot. And I feel grateful and I feel blessed every day.
You also mentioned you have a YouTube channel.
Oh, I do. Thank you very much.
Yes.
It's called Church's Hollywood Moments. So come join me.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
All right, what we got for us?
So what's really cool about this lot, and I always find it fascinating with all the classic sitcoms that started here, and I never understood why, like Mr. Ed and Beverly Hillbillies and Lucy and Petticoat Junction, there was always like an episode of them going to Hollywood and them going on a movie studio. That was here. Every show that you ever saw that they won a trip, or they're going there, so it was all shot here. Why? Convenience. The writers will be like, oh, what do we do? What do we write? Oh, we went to Hollywood. There's a crossover episode of Mr. Ed and Green Acres, where Arnold the pig meets Mr. Ed on a stage. Yes, on a show. I don't know if it was the first or second season of Green Acres, but they get to go to Hollywood, and while Arnold is on the lot, he bumps into Mr. Ed. And there was so I believe stage 7 was Beverly Hillbillies. It was either 7 or 4 with Beverly Hillbillies on Petticoat Junction. Number 5, which is near my office, that was where Green Acres was shot.
Oh, wow.
The George Burns stage. So this is where he did his Grayson Alley show. George and Gracie show, right? Was that called? Yeah. So he was here from the 50s until he retired. I think it was mid-90s, somewhere between 94 and 96. He had an office here, and they named the stage after him, and he never left until he retired. So George Burns called this place home too.
Wow.
And then the stage I'm going to show you now. Come on in, we're going to go to stage 2.
All right. Oh, this is so cool. Wow.
So, welcome to stage 2, aka I Love Lucy stage. We are in the middle of where Lucy performed for 2 years, for the first 2 years of their career, of their show. There's pictures all around that'll show you what the stage looked like back in the day. And it was actually this stage that the Producers Guild had their Christmas party. And Alex and I were at this table. There was a table right here. And I remember looking up and seeing that and saying, oh, I wonder why they have that here. That's pretty cool. I didn't even notice the other pictures.
Right.
So I asked the security guard, hey, what's the significance to having the I Love Lucy thing? This is the stage. This is where they did it for the first 2 years. And I said, wow. So that iconic living room was here. The iconic kitchen and everything else that they did, the Babalu club that they went to was all here. And the cool thing is, this building right here, this structure, was where they had the audience to sit. So there's a door. There was a doorway over here that the fans would come in and make their way on the benches and get ready for the show.
This is where it was.
This is where the audience sat, and then this is where the show was. And then this is the only stage on this lot that actually has another stage in here as well. So the Lucy stage has 2 stages. Let me see if there's a light here. If there's no light right here, then...
That would have been awesome.
I was going to go grab my cell phone, but I don't have my cell phone.
Maybe go to get well, yeah, it's a little lighter.
Let me see if there's a light here, light switch here. Hey.
There we go.
So, the cool thing about this room, that door was, well, is it this door, Alex? But one of these 2 doors is where Lucy would sneak in, because that's one of them goes to her dressing room, which I'm going to show you outside.
Oh, wow.
The studio
It's
built,
that one.
The studio built, so that's the door that she would come in from her dressing room. So the studio built an actual doorway outside where Lucy would kind of come in before the crowd, sneak into her dressing room, get prepared, and then come walking out to the actual stage. Yeah, because this, I believe this was probably, I don't think they ever shot anything in here, unless maybe they did, but no audience was in here because it's too small. But I think this was probably maybe where they were prepped and everything before they walked out on stage to the crowd, because they're playing for the audience.
Yeah.
Because the other hallway down there is where some of the other green rooms are and everything else if they had guests. And there's a cool thing outside the studio. We'll take a walk back out, but if you guys want to get whatever footage.
Yeah, sure. These pictures here.
Yeah, these pictures are amazing. Back when you were able to promote smoking. Cigars and all, you know.
Take your money.
Yeah.
It's crazy how everybody's dressed up so nice.
Yeah, that was the era, man.
Yeah, that was real good. Yeah.
Here's the.
Oh, there's LucilleBall right there. Wow.
Yeah, and here's the other one. There's the group right here. You got Desi, Lucy, Vivian, and Fred. Not Fred. What the hell is this? William. They're all sitting here with, I guess, these were the producers and writers and directors.
Oh,
on this page, on this poster right here.
Wow. Yeah, there they are.
I mean, if you listen quietly, and just at the right moment when the wind blows, you'll hear, ha, 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 ha.
So that looks like, yeah, that building, no, this one.
Yeah.
That's really cool. But
And then this is sometimes we want to play stickball, so we'll come in here and we'll make a little home plate and we'll throw it. No, I'm kidding. That's what we used to do back east when we were kids. That little X with the square would be on the back of a garage, and we would be using that as a
strike zone.
That's the strike zone. So I just learned this literally a couple weeks ago, where, well, you know, with sitcoms, you would think that, you know, everybody had a sitcom or whatever, but if you think about the sitcom, from the mid-'80s to present, all sitcoms are designed to be around stand-up comics.
yeah.
So if you look back at all these big sitcoms that were successful, they're all stand-up comics, because they're expecting their following to come and tune in. But back in the day, like the Mr. Ed and this and Green Acres and Lucy, they weren't comics.
Yeah.
But it's just funny how, when you think about it, you know, King of Queens, Seinfeld, Roseanne, Home Improvement.
Everybody loves Raymond.
They're all based on a particular comic and his show.
Yeah. After Seinfeld popped in like third season, every
That
comic
was it.
was offering a show.
Perfect. And when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
I think Roseanne was the first kind of, well, I mean, Freddie Prinze, Chico and Amanda, he wasn't the star, he was, you know,
Right, it was, well, Red Fox was also a comic,
Fox, yeah.
So it goes back to maybe they,
Sanford Son, yeah.
but see, but All in the Family was a sitcom,
Right.
but none of them were.
No, they weren't on studios, no.
You can't have that type of show these days. All in the Family, even though that, you know, everything, you would think the guy was racist and he started off with all this thing, but at the end of the show, it all came to a head where he was, you know, thick-headed and he wasn't learned.
He learned his lesson.
He learned his lesson, and that's great television, you know, for people to learn what they got to do.
Yeah, with Norman Lear, he passed away.
Oh yeah, and he.
Oh, they just had that big celebration.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Not too long ago.
Where he's buried.
Picture long enough, you can hear it talk. We'll see, you have explaining to do.
Yeah, the money.
Isn't this a great line? Try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. So cool.
What you gotta do, Pete?
I'm trying.
What?
Right now they're shooting something for, I think, Lions Day. But I'm gonna walk you over here, and I'm gonna tell you guys to turn around, but don't turn around yet.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring you something. Lauren Hardy.
Oh yeah, look here.
Mae West.
Hopalong
Cassidy. But follow me this way for a minute. I guess we'll do it right here because there's people standing there. So there was a small movie called La La Land.
Right.
And there's this big scene in the film where Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are walking, and there's like this montage that they're on a studio lot, which I believe that was done in Warner Brothers. But then they stopped to have a conversation. It was done right here. she went into stage 6, and then the camera turns around and looks at him, and then we see that iconic billboard behind him,
Oh, really?
which used to be a Coca-Cola. And someone painted over the Coke bottle, and they made a coffee and fixed her hand. So,
Oh, looks like she was holding a coat.
right, the top of it.
Right.
But they didn't do that for La La Land. They did that for something else, so they can always use that.
Also mentioned the Jacksons rehearsed for their victory tour here.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's what I was on.
Yeah, somebody I know, the guy who's not on tape.
That and Soul Train. That is just incredible. That Soul Train was shot.
And Star Search.
Star Search.
So Ryan Gosling, how's this to blow your mind? Ryan Gosling was discovered on Star Search on the studio lot, where later on he would shoot several films. One of them being La La Land on the same lot.
Right.
Ain't that
Crazy.
cool?
Yeah.
Talk about a kid with a dream.
Canadian kid.
And he had a good damn yeah.
Ed McMahon made it happen.
Ed McMahon can make anything happen.
The mural for the Hells Angels that Howard Hughes shot his movie here. And Jean Harlow, which was a silent film actress, blonde, became a star from this movie. We're gonna go. Here's a Lucy I was showing you guys.
Does this your bedroom?
No. And they started to do like when Donald O'Connor, who was in Singing in the Rain, he had a TV show here at one point back in November in 1954. If you watch the documentary Heart of Darkness,
Yeah.
you'll see him right in this area on the phone talking. Getting aggravated, but this was a little courtyard. And one of these buildings were his, I don't know which one yet. And it was pretty cool. What's up, brother? Good to see you.
Dryers.
That's how.
They are clean.
There you go. So let's so that's the door that they built for her.
Which one?
This white door was for Lucy to sneak in.
Where it's in the emergency?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was built for her just to come in so she doesn't have to go near the crowd. And then this building right here was her dressing room.
Wow, right.
And then she would go into this building to the stage. So, dressing room, came in, snuck in, went in here to her dressing room, and then came out and walked out to the stage. It's pretty cool. Because at that time, you know, she was a big star. Right? She was still a big star. But the first 2 seasons was huge. And the Lucy show, they also owned Star Trek.
Right.
And so they went to the Paramount lot for a short period of time until they moved to Culver City, where they ended up buying their own studio and became DesiArnaz Films. DesiArnaz Productions was based. They wanted this studio at one point, but the whoever owned it at that time, it could have been James Cagney and his brother at the time, or still could have been Howard Hughes, didn't want to sell it. So from the art director, from Charlie Chaplin's art director, it changed hands numerous times from James Cagney and his brother, who there's 2 iconic films, I can tell you when I get back to the office, that they shot here as well. It's just mind-blowing. When you read it, you're like, oh my God, they shot that here too?
Right.
So, and then they wouldn't sell it to Lucy and Desi, so they went off and bought their own. But this would have been perfect for them.
Yeah.
There's so many things that were shot here that they should be advertised, but you gotta understand, it was always independent hands.
Right.
That
Are you part of your office?
part of my office.
Do you look Marilyn Monroe by chance?
Yeah, there's a project that we're actually working
Wow.
on called M that we're going to be getting out very soon, which has to do about Maryland.
Right.
So these 3 films are the Amityville Harvest, the Amityville Moon, and Amityville Uprising. They're all streaming right now on cable and whatever. It's my version of Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein. But only, you know, it takes place in Amityville, the town. Those are 3, but Come on over.
Yeah.
Oh, and this poster right here is a movie called Jack and Blue that Alex and I produced, and it actually is a short film, and it was submitted to the Academy, and we got into the Academy to possibly be into the short finals category, but we didn't make it. But we got in. The movie got into the Academy and got voted on, which we're very, very happy about.
Nice.
So, and then this is the main office. Come on in. Come on in to Churchill. Welcome to Churchill Productions. This is where the magic happens.
Another assistant.
Yeah, that's Wolfie. Wolfie was in the Amityville Moon. And then we did a movie called The Godfather Buck, Day of the Living Dead, The Hard Way is a movie I wrote that's on Netflix. Checkpoint, wrote, produced, directed. Big Freaking Rat.
Big Freaking Rat is like what meets what?
It is Friday the 13th meets Jaws, but with a giant rat. It's doing very good in Europe. Germany loves them.
It's so much better with the New York accent. Like when you say the title.
That's what I wanted to repeat.
Hey,
So much better.
Friday
Big Freaking Rat.
meets Jaws with a big freaking rat.
That's it.
So much better that way.
And then we got Devereaux is a film we did that's streaming still, and one of our Christmas movies called The Business of Christmas, which I believe is on BET Plus. All the films are streaming and out and everything else, but what's cool. So we were talking about outside about how movies were popular, or TV shows were popular at one point, and then Hollywood, as I was told, was like, oh, Hollywood's running out of ideas, and they're kind of remaking the same stuff. I thought the same thing, but then when you look back at it, they're missing the mark. I'm an independent guy, but I do work with a lot of the studios. But when you're missing the mark, let me lower this so YouTube don't flag anybody. If you're remaking a property that was popular in the 70s or the 80s,
Right.
and you're going to redo it now for this audience, I get the mentality. It was successful then. Maybe the new audience would like it. But you got to also understand the new audience is a different audience.
Right.
And what was good then is not what they want to see now. For example, somebody said, Tom, you're a horror guy, which I do a lot of horror and action and family. They asked me, how come all these remakes don't work? And I said, it's just what you said. It's a remake. A true fan, like Nightmare on Elm Street, didn't want to see a revamped version of Nightmare on Elm Street with different people and get told the same story. We want to see maybe Robert Englund in it one more time, half of them at least, just from here up, and then get a stunt guy. You can do that. And tell another story, another chapter. That's what horror fans want to see.
Right.
You're going to do another Friday the 13th? Give me another story of where Jason is these days. Don't remake the same stuff. True fans don't want to see it. Look what happened with Child's Play, the remake. Nobody went. Nobody went to see the Nightmare on Elm Street. Nobody went to see, so it all the Texas Chainsaw Massacres, they're rebooting in different things.
Yeah.
Pick a version and stick with it. Continue from it. Tell a story from it. Don't just, think that the audience wants to be told the story again.
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, people remake. So Hollywood does run out of ideas at times. And they go back to see what was popular during this era, during May of, insert a year here.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily the case. But if you want to know more, come to my channel.
Yeah.
Church's Hollywood Moments.
Because you're doing your own original ideas for sure.
Yes. We pretty much, we write, we produce, we direct. We produce for other people. We pretty much have our own stuff that we do when we write and direct our own films. We have a slate of films that we're looking to do. And what was really cool is the next step for Alex and I as partners, when we were looking to go, where can we have our office? Where can we set up our office at? And when this fell on my lap, it made sense. Here is a kid from Brooklyn. I still call myself a kid from Brooklyn and Queens, New York, that always wanted to be in the movie business and always want to make movies in Hollywood. And here I'm living a dream. I'm grateful and thankful each day of my life that I get to do films in Hollywood on a studio lot, one of the oldest studios that's around, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the people I met, like you guys. I'm grateful for my friends and family and the movie business, because I'm not jaded yet.
Not yet.
I don't think I will be, because I love it too much. I absolutely love the world of make-believe and what you can do,
Right.
and make it an audience. You know, when an audience comes in, you know, they pay money or whatever, watch a movie, they forget what they're going on for 2 hours of the day, and they get sucked into the story you're telling them for them to relax and be entertained. That's what it's all about.
There's nothing more entertaining than a big freaking rat.
Big freaking rat.
Big freaking rat.
So that was fun, right? Yeah, I thought so too. And thank you. I got a lot of friends from Scott on Tape after his show ad came and subscribed to my channel. I appreciate that. Much love. I'm overwhelmed with the pouring out of new friends from all over the world. Thank you very much. And as I say in every video, this is a wrap on this episode of Church's Hollywood Moments. We'll see you next time. Peace.
3, 2, 1, go!